Hello and welcome to Geelong Arena for this Signet WNBL Round 2 clash between newcomers Geelong United and defending champions Southside. Two sides coming off losses in Round 1, with tonight a big opportunity for Geelong to create a slice of history with their first ever win in the competition, while for the Flyers it's a chance to kickstart their premiership defence on Thursday Night Hoops. Jess Webster with you alongside NBL 1 South Coach of the Year Mark Alabakov. Welcome to you, Mark, ahead of what's going to be a really great battle tonight.
It's great to be here for this first ever Victorian derby between these two teams, both of which are hunting their first win for the season in the Signet WNBL.
And of course it is the battle between the Master and the Apprentice in the coach's box tonight as well. So many subplots to this contest. Chris Lucas in his 18th season, Christy Harrow of the Flyers in her first season. As we take a look at some of the Round 2 fixtures, we of course had a game last night. So the Fire 4 points over Perth in a thrilling result there. But this game tonight kickstarts a big weekend of hoops.
It really does, and I mean, we're still in this early phase where teams are finding out not only about themselves, but we're finding out where it stacks up in the competition. So while there were some big results in Round 1, we'll find that we'll have things turn on their head in this second, third round, and things will only really find their place, I think, a good month into this WNBL season. So
Geelong United playing at home for the second week in a row. They went down in their first match last week to Townsville by 26 points. And as you mentioned, they faced off another Victorian-based team, of course, the Southside Flyers. But last week against Townsville, as we mentioned, they went down by 26 points. What did you make of that result? And do you think Geelong will be happy with how they performed, or disappointed they didn't make it a closer contest?
Well, I think competitively they'll be disappointed, but the only way is up. They've got 5 athletes that are new to the league. They've got 3 new additions to their roster that are from other clubs. Their only returnees are Keely Froling and Minnick Conti, who's still got the AFLW commitments to take care of before she joins the lineup. But in terms of getting the chemistry and the cohesion that they'll need, I mean, this was really indicative. They didn't shoot at a great percentage just yet. They only had the 9 assists. The sample size of them playing together is only going to increase those things, and you'll find that they'll be far better tonight for the hit out last week.
Absolutely, and let's chat a little bit more about Keely Froling. She was the first player that Chris Lucas called when he got the head coaching job, and she showed why last week. She scored their first ever points and finished with 15 points and 7 rebounds. She's just going to be that key pillar for this Geelong United lineup all year.
Absolutely, and why wouldn't you contact her? Last week she was the only double-digit scorer, led from the front. She had the 15.7 rebounds, but most importantly had countless leadership moments where she pulled the team together and is, I guess, steering this young Geelong team towards a new vision for their franchise.
So for Southside, coming off that championship win, but they do have a few new faces in their lineup for this season. So they are looking a little bit different. They got a new coach. So what did they take out of Round 1? It was a 15-point loss to Perth in the grand final rematch. Had their moments in their game, couldn't come away with the win. So if you're Christy Harrow, again, are you happy with Round 1, or you still think there's a lot of room for improvement?
Well, kind of both, I think. Look, they ran into a hot shooting Perth Lynx team. They had, allowed a 35-point first quarter, but then quarters 2 and 3, they were in the hunt. They lost by a combined 5 points and then won the fourth quarter. So hopefully they can find that momentum that they carried through the second half of last week's game. They're still finding some combinations, their minute rotations that fit the way that Coach Christy Harrow wants to play. They still had the 21 assists, so they've got some weapons out there on the floor. It's just, putting it together and being able to become a team with these new faces.
And one of the new faces is Alice Kunek, and gosh, she started with a bang last week. 22 points, 11 rebounds, kicking off life in new colours with a very strong performance. She was fantastic.
She was, and she's been a potent scorer in the WNBL every single time she's been in the league. So she had the 22 points last week, the 11 rebounds. But she's got an aggressive scorer's mentality. So when the ball touches her hands, it's always a threat of going up. She got post touches and close to the basket. She was able to do some damage, but then also on the 3-point line, where we know her to be a really deadly shooter as well.
How do you think this contest is going to play out? I mean, two sides of the opposite we haven't seen a lot of. So what can we expect tonight, Mark?
Look, I think you're still going to find both of the teams finding their way, but with far more cohesion. So we'll get a clearer picture of the types of looks offensively that both the teams want to go to, where they want to get their potent scorers scoring looks. I think if you're the Southside Flyers, getting Beck Cole into the action is going to be really important. She only had the 3 points last week, which is very un-Beck Cole-like.
So here we go from Geelong Arena, Thursday Night Hoops. It is United taking on the Flyers, and Geelong will have first possession as they look for early scoreboard pressure through Potter.
huge basket inside, get a really high percentage look to get your scoring tally going.
Rochi takes it down the other end. As the Flyers look to make an impact. They get their first points of the night through Vaughan.
And followed suit. So Vaughan only had the 4 points last week. Great idea to get her some touches early, get her confidence going.
Falling. Brett and Shelley combine. Here's Potter again. They're new faces for Geelong. They're all new faces. Shot from the corner, and that's incredible from Shelley from the corner.
She's a really deadly three-point shooter. The distance from the corner three-point shot to the basket's the shortest distance, so for her to put herself there, she's going to knock down a ton of them.
It's Naz Hillman to Kunek, as we touched on pre-game, to Cole. Vaughan looking inside for Hillman. Lovely team play. So both these sides looking to have strong starts to this opening quarter, coming off losses in round one. They'll really want to hit the ground running here tonight. So they look to get their first win of this season. Falling. She'll get an early look.
I spoke earlier about the cohesion between this team as we see that pick and roll where we find a corner three-point shooter in Shelley, but where the ball doesn't stop and a number of hands touch it per possession and travels side to side, there's more action that the Southside Flyers need to defend. You create good scoring opportunities if you're Geelong.
Geelong with an early 1-point lead. Shelley to the corner for Frolling. Runs the baseline and draws the contact.
So they're playing very perimeter focused. They're playing around the three-point line with multiple bodies, the Geelong team. And this is going to be obviously in the absence, which we haven't talked about just yet, of Kaiser, who's the tallest athlete on that Geelong team. So being a smaller lineup out on the floor for Geelong, it lends itself to playing with quickness when you spread the floor and you play with 5 players around the three-point line.
15 points and 7 rebounds last week for Frolling. She gets some early points on the board here. Geelong, 2-point advantage early. And applying the pressure. Chance for Putter. Could he get it to go? Flyers through Cole. On the way inside, up and in.
And that'll be important for her. She's as potent a scorer as Kunek is. It's going to be tough to try to keep both of those two down, especially if Cole can get going.
Jones into the action. United. This will be a Geelong ball. Here's Hayley Jones. Number 6 in the 2023 draft. In the WNBA. So a few new imports in the WNBL this season, and that's a fantastic shot from Kunek getting on the board.
We talk about potent scoring, right? And then back-to-back possessions, you've got Cole and then Kunek.
That's a foul.
Foul is called on Maddie Rochi. Her first personal foul, third team foul for Southside. It's Geelong ball on the sideline.
I like the idea of Maddie Rochi being disruptive defensively. So Jazz Shelley is an exceptional guard, a fantastic three-point shooter, but she would be what you'd consider a combination guard. She can be an organizer, but she can also be a finisher of plays. So to try and climb in and put her under pressure every time she catches the ball is a smart decision from Coach Chrissy Harrell.
Downtown, it's just a little offline. I always love the subplots and the little mini rivalries throughout this competition. This is the first game between 2 Victorian outfits in the WNBL this season. No doubt that we're looking for some bragging rights. Connect, that's a couple more. Shelley. After Jones. Long range 2, great finish. That'll be a foul. So Kunek Again, making an impact early.
Yeah, and she's being aggressive. Every time she touches the basketball, she's got that scorer's mentality, so she makes you have to defend, or she creates gravity for herself, which means multiple defenders are going to come and be interested in what she's trying to do with the basketball, which inevitably is going to open up space for others as this game goes on. The threat is if you don't come to help, she's likely putting 2 points on the board or puts you in a position to foul and gets on the free throw line like she is now.
22 points and 11 rebounds last week. Certainly one of their best players. Shelley off to Froling. Glass. So a good contest early. These two sides just feeling each other out a little bit. Flyers up by a point. Kunek looking inside for Cole. It's Froling to contend with. She pulls in the rebound. Off to Jones. Back to Froling. Receives from Potter. Back to Shelley. Shot clock down to 10. Gets her feet set and drains it from outside the arc.
And that's a really tough shot to have to hit. So the screen that was set by Froling sent Shelley back to where there was multiple players, both her teammate and another defender. So to set her feet and knock down that three is really difficult to do.
Ernst into the action for the Flyers. Can't make immediate impact. Jones brings it down off to Brett. Now to Shelley. That's a couple of triples in a row and can't get it to go. It comes down to Rochi. Here's Hillman. Gets it out to Ernst. Loves it from this position. You can see why.
And she can make them from the car park, Carly Ernst. She's got such a high release of that shot too, so even a similar sized defender finds it tough to get up and contest it.
5 minutes to go on the first. Flyers up by a point as Brett makes a move.
So one thing that's really noticeable as we watch this arm wrestle unfold is both of the teams look far more organised than what we saw in round one. And I mean, that's always going to happen when you've got a collection of new players. In the case of the Southside Flyers, a brand new head coach with a new style, the more sample size they get of playing with one another, things are going to start to click.
Great contest early. Thursday night hoops at Geelong Arena. It's Froling. Working on Ernst. That'll be the Geelong ball.
I like her mentality to start this game, Keely Froling. So she's being aggressive on her catches. So you see here, she catches outside of the key. She trusts and backs both her length and then the quickness of which she can explode to the basket to try to get by or wrong foot Carly Ernst and get herself a clean look at the basket.
It's Potter. Geelong in front by a point. Outclassed last week against Townsville. Looking for some improvement tonight. Brett has Cole for company. It's off to Ellsworthy. He's come onto the floor. Froling. Under pressure. Working on Hillman. Back out for Jones. Drive into the basket. Lovely move.
Outstanding drive. And I mean, this is the gift and the curse, the chess match of how you play a game of basketball. For the size advantage that the Flyers have out on the floor, it becomes a mismatch or a disadvantage if Geelong's going to play around the three-point line and create driving lanes for themselves.
With a second opportunity, but great defense from United. Flyers ball. So no Kaiser out there tonight, no Raver out there tonight for Geelong as well. Stay powered with Signet, Australia's favourite power bank brand. Keep your devices charged and never miss a moment. Visit signet.com to find your perfect powered bank. Ernst. Lets it fly for the triple. Can't get it to go.
We see Luffridge enter the game for the Flyers as well. Comes in and almost makes a hustle play, getting an offensive rebound.
Shelley. Froling gives it off to Luffridge.
It's a beautiful pass.
To Brett, rather, sorry. turning into a handy lead for Geelong. And they create the turnover and Ellsworthy finishes.
You see a timeout taken, I believe, by Coach Christy Harrower. So where Geelong has been able to get on top of Southside in this, it's become due to the ball pressure. So we see just a deflection on that last play. Ellsworthy gets fingertips to the basketball, gets herself a steal and gets a wide open layup.
It's a promising start from Geelong.
Well, they're doing a wonderful job of keeping the basketball moving. So where you've got the size advantage down close to the basket for the Flyers at their end of the floor, you can make that a bit more of a liability and play in a completely different world out on the three-point line. You keep them moving laterally, spread the floor so that you open up those driving lanes, or we saw earlier, Froling go to the basket off the dribble and then committed the interest of two defenders, which opened up a lane for Alyssa Brett to be able to cut in there and get a cheap little easy catch and layup.
And they've had an even contribution from a number of their players so far, Geelong. So Shelley up to 6 points. Brett, Potter, Jones, Froling all on 4, and Ellsworthy with a couple as well. So that'll be a pleasing sign for Chris Lucas as well.
Yeah, and they'll need to, right? So you're going to take away some of the close to basket production that you lose with Kaizen on the lineup, or to a degree Raber as well. And I think they had 16 second chance points in the loss against the Fire earlier last week. So you lose that potency for extra possessions and stuff that's really close to the rim and high percentage. You've got to make that up in different ways. So to be able to have 6 different scorers already in this first quarter alone and people playing aggressively off the bounce, it lends itself to exactly what you would want if you're Coach Chris Lucas.
Still got 3 minutes to play in the first. So a handy early lead here to United. Flyers looking to claw back some of this deficit early. Ernst can't get it to go. Shelley to Hank has come into the action for United, makes a move and gets the call.
And that also is huge, right? So she comes into the game for her first series of minutes and within 30 seconds gets herself onto the free throw line. So usually with the first touch for an athlete, they can be a little tentative, make a pass, go and try and get a rebound and get yourself into the game that way. It takes a lot of courage to put the ball to the floor, especially on your non-preferred hand, wear some contact and get on the free throw line. So credit to her.
And a full circle moment for Hannah Hank. She was coached by Chris Lucas at Adelaide for a little bit before commencing her college career.
One thing to look for after free throws, Geelong is in looks to be a 2-2-1 zone press. So they're up the floor here, they're aggressive, they're really playing to win, and it's a different mentality rather than being hesitant with the lack of size in the lineup. They come up with another steal.
Stolen from Luffridge, and Ellsworthy down the other end, it can't get it to roll in. Hillman actually deflected, but it goes out, Kunek.
Has a tenacity defensively from this Geelong United lineup.
Plenty of hustle. Here's Hillman. Off to Kunek. In the corner for Cole. She fires, and it goes down. That's a big 3.
Massive for her. So already she's exceeded her point total from game 1. She'll be feeling good, has the 5 points on the board already here in quarter 1.
6 points the margin to the final 2 minutes here of the opening term. Cracking game of basketball so far. Shelley knocked away from Froling. Ellsworthy. Get it back. Shot clock ticking down. Bounces off the rim. Comes down to Kunek. Off to Ernst. Cole. Should go for it again. Swings it across to Hillman. And Luffridge. Away inside. Great defense from United. Off to Cole. Off the glass.
A circus shot too, put a bit of English on it. Fantastic finish by Cole, she's up to 7 points.
Hank working the baseline. Excellent finish.
Yeah, beautiful finish. Went baseline, wrong-footed Carly Ernst, and then was able to accelerate and use the basket as protection, gets to the far side for the reverse layup.
Final minute of the opening quarter at Geelong Arena. Cole looking for Hillman. A couple to contend with. That's a foul call.
We talked about the advantage that the speed can create for Geelong down one end, but then if the Southside Flyers have the opportunity to execute and make passes on target, I mean, they've got players who can play close to the basket in those post positions that are comfortable in that space, essentially playing against guards or guard forwards who wouldn't familiarly play back to the basket and have to defend those types of actions. So advantage to the Flyers. Hillman gets herself onto the free throw line and knocks the first one down.
Make sure you're following all of the live stats of today's game in the free WNBL app. You can also check out the game highlights, team and play, and plenty more. So make sure you download it from the App Store today. Flyers have cut the deficit to 4 points. Great contest so far. Potter to the rim.
And she started on fire too. She's had a very big hand here, just sneakily getting her tally up to 6 points.
Big opportunity for Potter to really make her mark in a new club this year. Hank. Off to Shelley as the seconds tick down, throws it up. Get it to go. Hillman to Cole. From halfway, Beck Cole. See the bottom of the net, but that ends an entertaining first quarter of Thursday night moves between Geelong United and the Southside Flyers, and it is Geelong with a 6-point advantage at quarter time.
I want to see you overlace in this one. Come on now. Obstacle there. Your job is to dribble around those obstacles. Hit a layup, sprint right back down the middle from the free throw line. First person to get a pass in is the winner. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Round the obstacles. Go! Onto the layup. Keep going that way. Holding on one down, 2 down, tight contest. Run. From the free throw line. They just missed. All the time in the world. We are the winner! Congratulations. What is your name? Great to have you on down here. You won yourself a full prize pack. Also, little bits and bobs on the bottom of these sides here. They're yours too, thanks to Pop Culture. Hand them over, GG, if you like. You can deliver those ones personally.
Welcome back to Geelong Arena. It is quarter time between United and the Flyers, and Geelong looking to create a slice of history tonight with their first ever win. They lead by 6 points over the defending champs, the Southside Flyers. Jess Webster and Mark Alabakov with you in commentary. And Mark, a great first quarter of action. Both sides, feeling each other out. Bit of an arm wrestle, but it's a high-scoring first quarter with plenty of highlights.
There has been both teams far more organised than round one and playing exciting brands of basketball. Geelong, most notably, have really tightened the screws on the defensive end, especially with the small lineup out there. They're doing a great job of getting deflections, getting fingertips to the basketball. It's making some of the transporting of the ball for Southside down the court dirty and clunky, which disrupts the rhythm of the Flyers and doesn't allow their potent scorers to get the ball on time and on target like they would prefer. Southside, to the contrary, they've got the 7 assists, so they're executing far better. Cole, Kunek, Ernst and Hillman have scored all but 2 of their points. So if you're Geelong, keeping the pressure at a high level is going to be important to try and keep those point productions down for those scorers from the Flyers.
And these two sides are kind of same, different. So bear with me here, but they are the same in that they have a lot of Geelong are a new side. Southside have a lot of new faces in their lineup as well. So they're still trying to find their feet, finding out their best combinations and what's working for them. It's just one team is in their first season, one is coming off winning the championship. So that's what I mean by that kind of same but different. So at quarter time, who do you think will be happier?
Look, I think they'll both be pretty pleased, especially if you're Coach Chris Lucas. You'd be coming in knowing that you're without your starting centre and someone who can be a real factor on both ends of the floor in Kaiser. So with a smaller lineup and playing this faster paced style and staying within the contest or being 6 points up, I think you'd be thrilled if you were Coach Chris Lucas. But to the Flyers' credit, 6 points gets made up pretty quickly in the WNBL these days.
Certainly does. As we get underway in the second quarter, Hank lets it go. To go in, and Jones has a bit of a fumble, so it's going to be a Southside ball. Smile on the face. To Hillman, Kunek, so prominent in that opening quarter. Ernst, she's fouled.
But you're aware that if you're Coach Chris Lucas, Hannah Hank has come in with the mentality to try to get her fingertips to everything. Anywhere that the basketball is, if Carly Ernst holds it and it's in harm's way, she's trying to knock the basketball loose.
Here's Kunek. Finish, got to go. Brought down by Hank, to Shelley. Being down the floor. Let's give it to Jones. A bit of pressure. Shelley, shot clock down to 10. Hank drives off the glass and gets the call.
She's deceptively explosive too, I've noticed here in this early stages. Now she's being played by the taller Carly Ernst, and Carly's giving her a little cushion of an arm's distance space there, but Hank has still got an explosive first step where she can get her shoulder into the chest of Carly Ernst, draw the contact, and be able to get herself onto the free throw line.
23-year-old, 9 points and 6 rebounds in round 1 last week.
Well on her way here.
This is that attempt, comes down the way of Ernst. It's called a foul.
Foul is called on Jeremiah for Geelong. Her second personal foul, second team foul. Substitutions for both teams. Basketbol returns for Southside. And for Geelong United, Lisa Brett and Keely Crowell return to the game.
You'd be fine with that if you're Coach Chris Lucas. You've got to, any time that you're encouraging a team to put a whole lot more ball pressure on and have the basketball essentially under siege on the defensive end, you've got to be prepared to wear a handful of those fouls and not kill the spirit of the athlete trying to be disruptive by overcorrecting whenever a foul gets called.
Lovely pass to Hillman. Good finish.
One thing that is unappreciated, or underappreciated rather, about Beck Cole, not only is she a fantastic scorer, but she'll always make the right basketball play, and she's always happy to give the ball up to someone in a better position when she's in.
Right to Frolin. Shelley. Now to Ellsworthy. Shot clock ticking down. That's the foul.
Probably got out of jail on that one, Geelong. I think the early part of this quarter, the ball has started to stick a little bit more for me. So it hasn't had the fluidity of moving side to side. Perhaps the fatigue has started to play a little bit of a factor for them. But it's made their offense a bit more stagnant. They're lucky they've been able to get on the free throw line in back-to-back possessions. If you're Coach Chris Lucas, you're probably wanting them to get back to that ball movement focus that they had in Q1.
Luffridge off to Hillman. Rochi. Looking inside. Kunek. That's a tough finish. Makes it look easy.
Very tough. And I mean, we talked at the start of the broadcast about her potency as a scorer. She is able to score back to the basket and close to the hoop against smaller defenders, which is something that can be a tool that Coach Christy Harrower can utilise.
Shadow for Jones. Geelong just keeping their noses in front here. It's a good start to them on home turf. Hillman. It's foul.
Foul is called on Jazz Shelley for Geelong. Her first personal foul, third team foul.
So Southside's still very interested in pumping the ball inside to interior players. So they do a really good job. Hillman is a great example, as we see her line up for free throws, of being able to provide a big target close to the basket. Her teammates are actively looking to throw the ball inside to her. When you get a catch in and around that smile that you see near the basket, the defense is essentially 80% beaten. It generally results in either a high percentage shot or a position where inevitably the defense fouls you and you get free throws out of the play.
Came across from the Boomers last season as Hillman. WNBL second team of the year last year. Fresh off the WNBA playoffs as well.
She can do it all.
A busy woman. Following goes to ground. Foul called. So what's the mentality week to week for this Geelong United side? I mean, they're playing, everything's new for them. Every game is new, every matchup is new, every venue is new for them. What's the mentality week to week, do you think?
I would say continue to re-educate and catch them doing things right. I mean, you're starting to build a team from scratch in a lot of ways. You've got a lot of athletes, 5 of which have never played WNBL before. Catch them doing things that are sustainable habits that lead to success. Point to them, reward them, and make them part of your DNA moving forward.
A couple of bites at it. Heading to a timeout.
35-31 is the score here in this second quarter. All right, it's time to power up the crowd.
Geelong leading by 7 points. 7 minutes to go in this second half. So here's the corner attempt from Cole. Great hustle to follow up.
Such a dangerous scorer. I mean, this is where you look at this lineup and it's so difficult to play against because you've got essentially players that are capable of scoring 20-plus points and being a match winner in their own right, in Cole, in Kunek, in Ernst, and in Hillman. It still holds true that all of their points so far for the game, bar the 2 points that we saw to Michaela Vaughan early in the contest, they've been scored by those 4 players. And it's difficult to try to keep all 4 of them down, knowing that one or multiple can carry you for periods of a quarter.
So Bet Cole up to 7 points now alongside Hillman. So after having 3 points last week, Bet Cole certainly getting in on the action tonight to boost her confidence for sure. 3 assists as well to Bet Cole. Connect leading away with 8 points for Southside. And Geelong, Shelley, Potter and Jones leading the way with 6 points each.
I think the key there that you mentioned, Jess, is the 3 assists that Bet Cole has. So not only is she up well above what she scored last week, she's essentially 3 times what she scored in last weekend's output, but she's prepared to get others involved in the game as well. So she's a complete package from an offensive standpoint.
Shelley for United. To Ellsworthy. Follow. Looking to make a move. Kicks it out. The shot from the corner from Brett. It's fantastic.
It's a beautiful driving kick. So with Froling having the gravity of being a tremendous driver of the basketball, Taya Burrows from the Flyers had to jump across to try to disrupt Froling collecting the basketball. Froling being a step ahead, kicks it to the corner and we get a 3 ball.
Luffridge. Here's Burrows. Inside for Hillman. And that'll be a foul. It's an offensive foul. Let's take another look.
Yeah, unlucky, but look at the gravity that she has. So as she spins here, she's got 3, nearly 4 blue singlets around her. So the fact that they're trying to go into her as a target, she can score, but now she can use that advantage to throw the ball back out to a shooter who's going to have a whole lot more time and space.
Shelley. To Ellsworthy to keep it alive. Jones, shot put down to 5. And she gets it done.
It wasn't pretty, but I love the just war of attrition to try and wheel that ball into the hoop.
Burrows out to Kunek, sets her feet and knocks it down.
Dangerous, dangerous 3-point shooter. And she's tremendous with that step back that she takes. She takes a dribble and makes you think she's going to drive the ball to the basket. Bounces back and knocks down the 3.
Falling off the glass. She's off to the line as well. Timeout called by the Southside Flyers. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Oh, wait a second, I'm hearing a noise. What's that?
8-point advantage to Geelong. They've looked really focused from the opening tip-off tonight.
They have, and you know, even where they've become a little stagnant in the half court with their offense, it's been a little stationary. The ball has stuck more than probably what Coach Chris Lucas would like. The aggression and then the persistence when it's time to make a play or it's time to hustle down a rebound, where that's stayed at a high level, they've been able to keep the scoreboard ticking over and keep their buffer on the Flyers.
Geelong by 8 points as we call all sports teams. Say goodbye to travel headaches and hello to CTM Sport. CTM are 100% committed to delivering excellence in their field. Leave the logistics to the travel experts so your athletes can focus on what they do best. Learn more at ctmsport.com.au.
Slow it down.
So what do you think the key messages are going to be in this timeout for Southside? What are they looking for as we head into half-time?
Well, I mean, the past basket came as a direct correlation with miscommunication. So you know, where we talked earlier about both of these teams being a relatively new collection of individuals together, the quickest way to become a team is to talk to one another. And it sounds really simple, but I've got to tell my teammate what I'm doing or what I need her to do so that we have clarity and we all have a job and a task, and then you know, we're not one step behind or being reactive to what the opponent's doing.
Complete the N1. Defending. Makes it tough for Hillman, but she finds a way.
She does a beautiful job with her footwork too. She always tries to step across the feet of the defender so she's got a clear window for the ball to be able to go up.
Falling to Shelley. Long range. Comes down to Burrows. Brings it down the other end to Cole. Hillman. She adds a couple more.
Super unselfish from Cole. So drew the two defenders, dropped it off over the top to the wide open Hillman.
Close the gap to 4 points, the Flyers. And it's going to be a Southside ball.
Big possession coming up for the Flyers. If they can execute and get themselves a score in this next play, turns the tables a little bit, starts to create some momentum for them, and perhaps has Geelong play a little more tentative as the scoreline gets tighter.
Got to keep up that pressure. Here's Luffridge from long range. Hillman with a second opportunity and gets the foul.
And this is what she does a tremendous job of as well, Hillman. She's a great offensive rebounder, and when you've got, for Geelong, only really Keely Froling that has a comfort and a familiarity of playing and defending close to the basket, she's the only one that gets in the contest there for that rebound. So when you've got great rebounders like Hillman in and around the basket, and you've got such a guard-heavy lineup for Geelong, there's not that conditioned response for them to try to box out and try and push for position or go and compete for the ball while it's in the air. It's not what they're used to doing.
And then 2 for 2. Margin is back to 2 points, so really important 3.5 minutes coming up here. Froling, long range 2. Great finish.
Outstanding finish. So she ended up with Beck Cole on her, who was going to be up to the task should Froling put the ball to the floor. But instead, Froling creates space, lifts the ball above her shoulders, where it's essentially almost 6'4" height, and releases it over the top of the smaller Cole. It's just a veteran move.
I mentioned it off the top. She's going to be such a crucial piece of the puzzle as Cole from long range knocks it down. Speaking about crucial pieces of the puzzle, Beck Cole is certainly that for the Flyers. Jones, to go. Burrows, almost. Luffridge, Hillman completes the team play. Fast transition from the Flyers.
Great pass, tremendous transition. We have ourselves a ball game.
And they hit the front for the first time tonight, the Flyers, as we head into another timeout. So it's Geelong by 6 points at quarter time. And brilliant stuff. A great contest so far. The Flyers have now made their move in the second part of this second quarter. Now the pressure's back on Geelong.
And their response coming out of this timeout is going to be really important too. You know, we talked about how there's 5 athletes that have never played WNBL before. There's 3 that have come to this franchise from other WNBL teams as they start to mesh, and you know, this is just the second step in their journey. How do they respond in times like this when they've had a fantastic start out of the gate, they get themselves out to almost a 10-point lead and then get run down by an experienced Flyers outfit? Now the ledger is turned in the Flyers' favour, and it's Geelong's turn to respond, as you said.
Cordillas love to see their WNBL sporting heroes and Aussie families conquering their goals, and it's easy to conquer the everyday in the 7-seat Ford Everest Sport SUV. Find the Everest that's right for you at your local Ford dealer.
And a really smart play by Coach Chris Lucas to call a timeout and try to kill that momentum swing as early as possible while it's a 1-point margin.
3 minutes to go in the second. Flyers at the front for the first time tonight. What have Geelong got in response? Off to Hank into the corner for Brett, who knocks it down. Well, that's what they've got.
I'd say that's a pretty good response.
Geelong are back in the lead. It's a cracking contest. Still so much basketball to be played, and a foul there. Luffridge.
Now, it did look like Geelong had come out of that timeout with a defensive change-up. They had gone to a 2-3 zone. So another chess move on the board by Coach Chris Lucas to disrupt the rhythm of the Flyers, not allow them to create advantages the same way that they were when it was a matched-up player-on-player defense.
Loving this tactical battle between the coaches as well, of course. Christy Harrell was an assistant for Chris Lucas, so he's running the apprentice as well going on tonight.
And they have a long history. So I got to work with Chris Lucas at the Townsville Fire for 2 seasons in 2 grand final years where we lost to the Bendigo Spirit, who Christy Harrell had played for. So preparing for her as an opponent is something that's very familiar to Coach Chris Lucas, and knowing that there's a seasoned, experienced, intelligent basketball brain on the other sideline is something he'll be familiar with Christy.
Can't wait to see what she does as the coach of this Flyers outfit, of course, such a revered player. Hillman off the glass. And such a tough task as well to come into a championship winning side as head coach. It's not an easy task.
Yeah, I mean, and look, you're going to have expectation thrust upon you for the sheer fact that they had such tremendous success under Coach Cheryl Chambers. But what if you're a Flyers fan or if you're a spectator of the league? It's a different thing. It's having Christy there is not better or worse. It's different. It's a new identity. It's a new era for their franchise. And this is just chapter 1 of that. So even though some of the faces may remain the same, the story's going to be completely different, and she'll tell it in her own way.
So Froling finds herself at the line. Two from two, such a classy player. Geelong lead by 2. Luffridge. Cole, see from Hillman. A little bit of pressure, keeping it alive. Kunek pulls the trigger. Can't get it to go.
Geelong has their second win defensively. It's gone up a level.
Rolling to Brett, they share it around. Crichton got to the floor. He's coughed it up. Cole, the Flyers make them pay down the other end. Yes, they can. Massive from Kunek.
And you pick your poison in that 2-on-1 scenario. You either stay with Cole and you give up the 3-point shot, or you rush out to Kunek and then the ball might come back to Cole and she's got a driving lane.
That's the final minute coming up here in the opening half. It's a foul against Burrows. Scores a level. Geelong heading to the line.
For the Flyers. Taya Burrow sits down with 3 fouls.
What's particularly pleasing from a coaching standpoint, I can really appreciate that both of these coaches giving younger athletes an opportunity to play, and in crucial moments like this. So the game is, it's nearly half-time, so there's a lot of basketball to be played, but it's hanging in the balance from a momentum standpoint. So if you're Coach Christy Harrower, she's backed in Dallas Luffridge to carry them through to half-time. You mentioned earlier that Crichton's on the floor for Geelong, a young athlete getting her first foray into WNBL minutes.
There's Bet Cole off to Hillman. Luffridge. Net. Great defense from Folling. Down the other end. That's an excellent play.
Let's add that one to the play of the week. We'll factor that in for play of the week categories coming up this weekend.
Absolute start. Geelong back out to a 3-point lead. Flyers got their noses in front, but Geelong have responded. Here's Cole. She gets fouled.
Unlucky there for Alyssa Brett. I thought she did an excellent job of trying to keep Bet Cole between her feet, so where she's got her entire body between Cole and the basket, make it as tough as possible for this talented scorer. Referee just determining that she was moving when the contact was made. It's Cole on the line.
Makes the first. This one, you get back.
Now with these free throws, you've got an opportunity for Coach Chris Lucas to communicate what offense you want to run coming down the floor. So the 19 seconds left to play before half-time. You want to limit this next possession to be only yours. You get one last shot. Hopefully you hit it and you bring some momentum into half-time. But you don't want to give the ball back to the Flyers.
Point the difference.
Ellsworthy not in a hurry.
Brett to Frolling. She makes her move. There's a couple to beat. She gets it back, Frolling. And she gets the bucket. Right on the halftime buzzer.
Well, that went as well as you could possibly hope if you're Geelong.
So what a first half we've seen at Geelong Arena. United are trying to create their own slice of history tonight with their first ever win. They head into halftime with a handy advantage. 54-51 over the Flyers. We'll break it all down for you after this short break.
I shoot like a girl.
Jane Hamilton. Late shot on the buzzer is gone. Sammy Whitcomb.
I block like a girl.
And the block came from George. Sharp over the top with a denial.
I rebound like a girl.
Hillman again on the O glass.
That rattles out.
There's Maley the 2. Average 20 points a game.
I move like a girl.
Kayla George fires back.
And that's what makes us great.
Celebrating 50 years of sneakers?
For a delicious dinner that disappears and lets you squeeze in one more episode before bed. Pick up Latina Fresh, Australia's favourite pasta and sauce. Latina, we got the weeknight.
I shoot like a girl.
Jane Hamilton. Late shot on the buzzer is good. Sammy Whitcomb.
I block like a girl.
And the block came from George. Sharp over the top of the denial.
I rebound like a girl.
Hillman again on the O glass.
Rattles out.
There's Maley, the two. Average 20 points a game.
I move like a girl.
Taylor George fires back.
And that's what makes us great.
For a delicious dinner that disappears and lets you squeeze in one more episode before bed. Pick up Latina Fresh, Australia's favourite pasta and sauce. Latina, we got the weeknight.
Welcome back to Geelong Arena, and what a contest we have tonight. It is United leading the Flyers 54-51 at halftime. Jess Webster and Mark Alabakov with you. Mark, so much to like about this contest so far. What have you made of the first half?
Well, I mean, it's been fantastic. I think I echo the same point. There's so much to like. If you're Geelong, the defensive pressure and what it's been able to afford you, the organisation to being able to get your three-point shots now at 57%. It's looking like it's far more flowy. You've got 7 individual scorers, 9 bench points. You're getting on the free throw line even though you've got a smaller lineup out there on the floor. If you're the Flyers, you've got the 15 assists, so you've got offensive weapons, but you're getting them the right shots, you're executing well or making the extra pass. Hillman's got the 17 points, Cole's got 14, Kunik 13, Ernst has got the 5, and I really like that combination of those 4 athletes. Probably with someone like a Matty Rocci out on the floor, I think has been their best lineup. But markedly big improvers, both of these teams from round 1.
And you think, speaking of Geelong first, so as we know, their first ever season in the competition, every week they're going to probably have a set of KPIs that they want to achieve throughout a contest. You rattled off a few really things that they were pleased with at halftime. What's the number one thing the Sleepers would circle in terms of about the way they're playing in the first half? You'd be really pleased with?
The defensive pressure by far, because it's been a catalyst for speeding up and disrupting the Flyers, but then it's led to turnovers that this smaller lineup has been able to run and gun down the floor back the other way.
And for the Flyers, we know that they carry so much experience in this side as well. Yes, they've got new faces, but they still have some experience there. So we know they're going to come in the second half. So what do you think the key messages are going to be for Chrissy Harrow at halftime as they take a look at some of the key stats at halftime?
Well, I think the message is going to be continuing along the same path, just probably trying to tighten the screws from a defensive standpoint. You might see her throw out some different looks and mix her defense to break the rhythm of the Geelong team, but certainly all of her guns are putting points on the board. The likes of Hillman having 17 points, some of that has come from passes to the post or interior to her, but then things that she's created just by her effort on the offensive glass, getting a rebound and going back up with it. Cole, far more organic. She's got the 14 points, 5 of 8 from the field, has eclipsed what she was able to do last week, and she's got the 5 assists to go with it. Kunik has been the potent scorer that we spoke about in the pre-game. The thing to keep an eye on, though, is that both Hillman and Kunik have played the full first half, so all 20 minutes. Cole has played almost 19 minutes, so you're hoping that they've got enough gas in the tank to continue along this path for the second half if the Flyers are winning.
So we've got a ball game at halftime at Geelong Arena. It is United by 3 points over the Flyers. As we take you to the break, let's check out the top 5 plays of round 1.
And another backdoor cut.
That's just fantastic conditioning.
5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Alicia Crowley's got the open floor. Hard foul came across. No. Well, clean. Melbourne again, the take, and again she'll go to the free throw line for one more. Took a really concerted effort from Melbourne to get to the paint, get to the rim. Kaiser into the ball game. Sat for quite some time with those 3 personal fouls, Kaiser.
Cook with a handle. Little shitty move and the scoop up and in for the finger roll lay-in.
Finds Wilson in transition. Great drop-off pass.
Highlight reel stuff.
Halftime at Geelong Arena, and what a game of cricket we have on our hands on this Thursday night. It is Geelong United leading by 3 points over the defending champions Southside Flyers, 54-51. It was Geelong by 6 points at quarter time. We've had several lead changes throughout the night, particularly in that second quarter. It was end-to-end stuff. Just Webster and Mark Albakov with you in commentary. Tonight, one key player for United tonight actually was with one, Hilly Frolic. Have you seen her game tonight, Mark?
Yeah, she's been tremendous. So she started off really, really strong and aggressive on the offensive end, got herself on the scoreboard early, but then her remaining points through the better part of the rest of that first half have come at really opportune times. So whenever the teams needed a bucket or the Flyers have looked like they've started to steer some of the momentum back, she's come up big and got herself a basket to keep the scoreboard ticking over, or an and one that just pauses the game, halts the momentum swing, and then keeps Geelong's noses in front.
So So she had 15 points in round 1, did Keely Froling, and she's up to 14 tonight. So moments away from the second half here. And of course this season the WNBL is taking a stance against domestic violence. Putting a stop to this is everyone's business. Make an effort to recognise warning signs, listen to survivors and speak up. For more info, please head to Full Stop Australia. So what's going to happen in the second half, Mark? We sort of came into this contest not really knowing who was going to stand up in terms of what team was going to stand up, what players were going to stand up. What have you learnt from the first half, and can you give us a prediction for what's to come? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
As always, I love to do that. I love to do it.
Geelong, look, a clear play-to-win mentality. I love how aggressive they've been on both ends of the floor, and there's no hesitation. Can they keep the Flyers moving side to side in transition up and down the floor and create advantages for their quickness to take over? For Southside, can they wear down Geelong with really good execution with their scoring punch? Keeping scoreboard pressure on this essentially young team is going to be important to get a psychological edge. Look, as we see a basket go down for Geelong, if I had to guess, I'm going to say, I don't even know. I don't even know.
I love that. But if you don't know,
I know.
If you don't know, that means that we've got a massive second half to come. So an early opportunity to United to start the third quarter. And now Southside come up with it. Here's Hillman working on Froling. Good shot. So classy.
I should have an opinion though, right? That's what I'm here for.
Just give us a tip. Just say Geelong or Southside.
The experience of the Flyers might get them over the line.
Right, we'll see how we go. Shelley lets it fly. Can't get it to go. Rebounding from Potter, though that pass. Turnover, so a couple of fumbles. Turnovers early for Geelong here in the opening minute or so of the third quarter. You can feel the tension rising out there.
Let's get some energy going.
Connect inbound for the Flyers. Trying to get themselves on the winners list this brand new season. Cole. 3 to beat. It's off the rim and Froling brings it down.
Credit Maddie Rocci with a great pass though. I really like this mentality from her where she's trying to be a pure point guard and get other people involved. You've got 4 really, really good scorers that you're playing with, and if she can get them involved and get them good shots, that'll go a long way to helping this Flyers team put a winning scoreline on the board.
Froling's infringed. It's a foul against Brett. Southside ball. Rocci takes it down the floor. Gives it off to Kunek. Now to Cole. Back to Kunek. Feet set wide open and nails it.
And that's the execution piece, right? So they've got so many weapons. When they do a great job of getting the ball in areas that they want it, where they're executing their play, they do a great job of setting screens and then separating and forcing the defense to make a decision. Inevitably, somebody's going to be available if you're the Flyers.
Scores a level again. It's come unstuck for United. Chance for the Flyers to pounce. Cole. Excellent work. And we're heading to a timeout. So Flyers immediately out of the gates in this third quarter have made up that 3-point deficit.
And just like that, it evaporates, right? So the pushing of the basketball almost like 3 steps at one point on the first vision with Beck Cole, but gets away with it if that occurred, gets herself on the scoreboard in transition. Now the Flyers take a lead. Now it's psychological pressure back on this young Geelong outfit. They were able to respond in the first half in a similar circumstance. Can they do it again?
So Flyers edge out to a 2-point advantage. Where do you see Southside this season? Are they going to be a contender again? They've obviously had a bit of a turnover of their list. A new coach, where do you have them placed?
Yeah, I think they've got more than enough talent to be a finals team, and you know, where we talk about the players who were the leading scorers for them in this game alone, they can each be match winners, and that can be against anybody in this competition. So Hillman, you know, she's been a former player of the week. Beck Cole's been a former player of the week in this competition. Kunek is a dangerous talent. She's been an Australian Opal before. Maddie Rocci is a facilitator. Carly Ernst is a highly underrated scorer and can get hot in really big games. So they've got some genuine weapons. I think the challenge that they're going to have is becoming a new new team with some new pieces, but then also, you know, can they do enough on the defensive end to keep teams to a beatable scoreline? Because they've got the offensive power to put winning scorelines on the board. They've just got to try and lock it down defensively too.
Do you think they carry the expectations of being the defending champions, or do you think it's a clean slate for them?
I think it's a clean slate. I think, you know, just by name they're the defending champions, but there's so many changes within this lineup, and those that were left over, so the likes of your Bet Cole and Carly Ernst, like, they're both really driven competitors too. So a new season, clean slate is how they'd be viewing it as well. And Maddie Rossi.
Now, three-time WNBL champ, Maddie Rocci.
Once again, a shout out to our floor workers as well. Thank to Cleaning Melbourne. Thanks, guys. And girls down the other way.
There is Rocci. The ball for the Flyers. Looking to get on top in this third quarter. It's broken up by Potter. Southside ball. So that's Hillman. We haven't quite touched on her. What an outstanding first half. She had 19 points and 4 rebounds as well. It's instrumental for the Flyers.
And she's got that established trust and player-coach relationship with Christy Harrell, which would have been established from last season with the Melbourne Boomers, as will Tara Reid, who's still yet to come into this Flyers lineup as well, and she'll bolster their depth.
There's Vaughan, rattles out. Hillman, though, wins it back. Kunek for another triple. Can't get it to go. Ellsworthy to clean up for United. To Shelley, who had a fumble, and he's handed over.
So there's two things in back-to-back plays there which you'd be concerned about if you're Coach Chris Lucas. So, you know, where you don't have a tall lineup out on the floor, you've got to encourage the pursuit of the basketball and rebounding contest, because the Southside bigs aren't going to get any smaller as this play goes on. And that sounds really layman, but it's a possession-based game, especially when it gets tight.
So here's a chance for Geelong. Potter to Ellsworthy on the fast transition, wide open, and knocks it down.
Well, that's a big play. I mean, I was just about to say, perhaps some of the inexperience, you know, forced a miscommunication and a turnover on the prior possession, but a big shot by Ellsworthy. She's been in this league before. Knocks down a huge one.
And they're back in front. Hillman, Vaughan, second opportunity. United defense working really hard. Ellsworthy to Jones. Now Potter from downtown. Froling working hard to win the rebound. Ellsworthy. It's bounced off the rim. Vaughan mops it up. Watch it to Cole. Lovely pass to feed Hillman.
Outstanding pass, and she does a great job with her court vision as well. So she catches and she sees from corner to the basket to the other corner. Generally makes the right decision. They're calling now up to 6 assists.
Jones to Potter. Froling. Shot clock down to 5. Froling to Jones. Massive!
Absolutely massive. This game has gone up a level on both ends of the floor.
Rocci to Vaughan and gets the call.
And the foul is called on Hayden Jones for Geelong, her third personal foul. 13
Scores a level here.
substitutions for Geelong United.
So we get a look at this infringement.
Shelley takes the seat. One bonus to come for Michaela Vaughan.
Let's make some noise on this one.
It's come up the way of Jones. For United under pressure. We're going to have a jump ball.
Is called and it will go the way of Southside Flyers.
Huge 5 minutes to come here in the third. Taking that momentum and that confidence into three-quarter time is going to be huge.
Here we go. Defense.
Cole. Out to Rocci. Hillman. play can they come up with here, the Flyers? Inside for Kunek. It's it out to Rochi. Now driving towards the basket. It's going to be a foul.
Something to keep an eye on off the ball is every time that Alice Kunek feels like she has a smaller defender on her, she's exploring the opportunity to go and plonk herself right in front of the hoop. And she does a great job of providing a big target to throw to. And then with that smaller defender on her back, she's a confident finisher or puts herself in territory where she's going to get on the free throw line.
Should get inbound, looking for Vaughan. And it's going to be a United ball. Great defensive hustle. For a quick and easy weeknight dinner that the whole family will enjoy, pick up a family pack of Latina fresh pasta and sauce. Ready in minutes, so delicious there won't be any complaints at the dinner table. Find Latina Fresh in a chilled pasta aisle near you. Guys working hard tonight, they might enjoy some pasta when they get home. What a contest.
Just about to say, yeah, and I do gluten-free and they do some gluten-free stuff, which is fantastic. So heading to everybody.
Game's back underway. Hank. Oh, big bump. What way is that going to go? It's going to go the way of the Flyers. Offensive foul.
Smart veteran move defensively from Alice Kunek to get her body in the road and wear that contact straight down the middle. Often when you go to ground, it catches the interest of the referees. Wins their team back possession.
Whatever it takes, Mark.
You have to.
To Kunek. Back to Hillman. In space. Rattles out. Ellsworthy. Froling. Wide open. Can't get it to go. Cole with the hustle. To Kunek. Down the other end. Pulls the trigger. Also bounces out, but Hillman mops it up.
That's what you want to curb if you're Coach Chris Lucas. To the contrary, you want to encourage pursuit of every single missed shot. See it as a pass to you if you're Nas Hillman. That would be the message coming from Christy Harrower. You see a little fatigue start to hit Alice Kunek on the offensive end. It might be time to get Carly Ernst into the game.
It's a massive triple. This game continuing to reach new heights. Cole, find her way through, kicks it out. Kunek across to Cole. Sees her opportunity. It's off the rim, Froling brings it down. 21 points now. 14 points, sorry. Froling. He's turned it over to Cole.
3-on-1 if she gets rid of it quickly.
Loffridge for two. Flies back in front. Ellsworthy. With the pressure. Ellsworthy makes her move. And it's an offensive foul. It's going to be a Southside ball.
And on cue, here comes Carly Ernst. Just the threat of the three-point shot that she can hit, or the fact that she can catch fire in a short amount of time and knock down a couple of big triples, I think that's a great substitution for Coach Christy Harrower to get her in the game.
Here she is, Ernst. Just passing it off to Cole. It's been great tonight for the Flyers. Inside for Hillman, tough. Her tally continues to grow. 25 points. To the final 2 minutes of the third here. Here's Ellsworthy. To Hank, looking for Froling and has come unstuck. Well, it's going to remain a Geelong ball. Came off Southside. Geelong from the baseline. Cole got a hand in there. Got another opportunity. Geelong by 6 points at quarter time, by 3 at half time, and out swung the other way. Flyers now have the advantage.
Cole's dangerous in passing lanes like that. Just when you think she's not going to go for it, she'll take a first quick step, get her fingertips to it.
Flyers really applying the pressure now. Hillman Froling with the defense. Flyers ball. So Flyers with the momentum. You mentioned Geelong's defense was crucial in that first half. So what does this next 90 seconds look like? They've really got to clamp down.
They do, and just keep this one within touch distance. The last thing that they would want is to allow the Flyers to go in to the break with a 4 or 6 point lead.
Oh, here's an opportunity. The steal and the finish. That was massive from Shelley. Much needed points to the final minute of the third. Luffridge has turned it over. Geelong have lifted in this last minute. Can they hit the lead? Ellsworthy puts a shot up and gets the foul.
That was a circus shot on her left hand, fading out of bounds with no backboard angle, through some contact. Incredibly tough basket there by Ellsworthy.
Substitutions for both teams. Michaela Vaughan checking back in for Southside. And
And just when we thought this game couldn't have any more twists or turns to it, there's still a quarter left to play.
It's been a super contest. Of course, a new rivalry being born tonight between these two sides. This is where they gets it done. So not only available points up for grab tonight, but really bragging rights as well. So we start a new chapter in the WNBL. Cole, need to make an impact, kicks it out to Ernst. And board to Vaughan. United ball. This has been really impressive this last minute or two. The Flyers had the momentum and Geelong have wrestled it back onto their turns.
There's something to be said from their persistence. Big possession coming up.
Ellsworthy to Crichton. Can't get it to go. Big moment for her. The Flyers punish them on the other way. Connect just throwing everything at it. And she'll get the call her way. And Geelong home fans here at Geelong Arena tonight not happy.
And this is the gift and the curse of having a young lineup out there. You love that Crichton's gone aggressively to the basket down the far end of the floor, but probably a little too early with a clock still left remaining within this quarter. Allowed the Flyers to get another possession back, and now you send Kunik to the free throw line, ready to tie it up.
With the Signet WNBL season launch kicking off at their reimagined store in Melbourne Central, celebrate the Hoops season by grabbing the latest kicks and apparel at your nearby Foot Locker, the official major partner of the WNBL, as we head towards three-quarter time. And we are set up for a massive finish here at Geelong Arena. It is United searching for their first ever victory in the competition, and they lead by the slimmest of margins, 70-69 over the Flyers.
I'm on my prime, I'm feeling like Steph. Ladies and gentlemen, and feel free to head back to your seats right now as we get ready for the last quarter. It's going to be a big one, and we want all the energy that you can possibly.
Three-quarter time at Geelong Arena, and what a battle we have on our hands tonight. It is Geelong United leading the defending champions Southside Flyers by a point as we turn for home. Jess Webster and Mark Alabakov with you in commentary to take a look at some of the highlights to three-quarter time. Mark, this has been a cracking contest. Can you believe it's actually only round 2 with the quality of basketball that's being played?
Right, it's just been so exciting and so many twists and turns, as I alluded to earlier, and the fact that we feel like one team has just started to get their nose in front with persistence and with defensive pressure, and then all of a sudden the other executes well and you see some fantastic individual efforts offensively and they're back into the contest. You know, Geelong's got the 15 bench points. They've got a whole lot of a spread of contributors right now. I think it's going to be a war of attrition in this fourth quarter. You know, you've got the Southside Flyers with Kunik playing all 30 minutes in the game, Hillman 29.5 out of the 30, and Cole 29 out of 30. That adds up. So Hillman had a fantastic third quarter, 8 points and 2 offensive rebounds in that quarter alone. But Cole only had the 2 points in that third, and Kunik only had the 4. So the question becomes, was that because Hillman was getting a little more involved, or is fatigue starting to play a part, and do they have any gas left in the tank?
You mentioned at halftime you weren't sure what way it was going to go in the second half. I don't think the pitch is any clearer at three-quarter time.
It's really not.
I have no idea what's going to happen in this final quarter.
All I know is I'm glad that the WNBL is back.
Absolutely. Back with a bang indeed. Here's Shelley looking to make an early impact in the final quarter. Froling brings it down.
And there she is on cue. As soon as they need a basket, so this gets them out to a 3-point lead now. Really opportune times, Keely Froling comes up big.
Here's Kunek. He's turned it over to Froling. Some early opportunity here for United. Jones works the baseline. They kick it out. A chance for Shelley. Couldn't get it to go. Hillman off to Rochi. To Ernst. Kunek. And she's been fouled.
And you'd be happy with that if you were the Flyers. So being able to get Kunik on the free throw line. So there's an on-ball screen coming from Carly Ernst. Instead of using it, she had more space to go towards the baseline. Kunik does that, wears some contact, gets herself on the free throw line. But what she gets as well as these 2 free throws is some rest. Everybody gets a collective chance to catch their breath. The pace of the play will stop, and that slower tempo is going to be more in the favour of the Flyers than it will Geelong.
So Hillman, Cole, Rochi, Kunek and Ernst on the floor for the Flyers to start this final term. It's Shelley, Brett, Potter, Jones and Froling for United. We have a 1-point ball game. Ellsworthy. Jones. It's on Ernst. Good to go. Hands from Ernst to Rochi. Off to Cole. Wore the contact. She will find herself on the line as well.
And there's 2 to come for Beck Cole.
I'm really enjoying this change in mentality from Maddie Rochi, looking to be an organiser and facilitator for other people. I think it's gone a long way to helping this Flyers team be as dangerous as they can be. So she's got the ability to score herself, but she's still scoreless in this particular game. Hasn't attempted a shot, but the 5 assists that she's had have been really, really important for this team. And it's the reason why Hillman's got 25, Cole's got 16, Kunik's got 19.
A couple of massive free throws for Beck Cole, and the Flyers find themselves in the lead again. Ellsworthy into the corner. Potter who's offline. Rochi across to Kunek. Cole. Rochi inside for Ernst. She misses. Potter off to Shelley. Works the baseline. Ellsworthy, little fumble. It's time to regather to Jones. Shot clock down to 10. Jones makes a move. It's up and in.
It's a beautiful play by Jones to fake the shot, pivot, and find some space back towards the middle.
Cole pulls up. That's a couple more. Points are flowing here in the final quarter. It's neck and neck at the moment. Not much has separated these two sides all night. Who's going to come out on top? Ellsworthy gets the contact.
Foul is called on Maddie Rochi for Southside. Her fourth personal foul. First team foul qualifiers. And a substitution will be made. Dallas Lockridge returning. And Maddie Rochi will take a seat with 4 fouls.
10 points for Ellsworthy so far tonight.
2 shots to come.
4
for
rebounds.
Sarah Ellsworthy.
Captain of Geelong United's NBL 1 squad. It's no strange to these colours.
She's had a sneaky, efficient game for this Geelong team. So she's up to the 11 points. She's shooting 3 of 5 from the field. She's got the 4 rebounds and an assist to go with it. 1 steal. Incredibly effective out on the floor, Ellsworthy.
We've seen another lead change. 7 minutes to go. Cole, wide open. Bombers out. Froling brings it down. Ellsworthy. Froling and now Jones. For 2. Gets it to go. Quietly putting together a good night. It's Haley Jones, 15 points now. 3-point advantage the way of United. Kunek from downtown.
As Carrie Graff would say, big-time players make big-time plays.
Scores a level again.
Do you reckon we could get overtime?
Well, let's hope so. Deserves it. It's Potter from the corner. Geelong come up with it. Players go to the floor. Throwing everything out there tonight, these two sides. Of course, great story, does have WNBL experience, spent 4 years with Adelaide. So return to this competition. Great storylines of this season and Geelong United's squad as well.
Do you know who her coach was in Adelaide? Chris Lucas.
That's right, you're one of the best minds in the WNBL, Mark. Jones and 1. Great shot too.
One thing that's visible, and it's been throughout the game, but certainly towards the back end here, there seems to be an instruction to these Geelong players that if they get matched up on Carly Ernst out into space, to try to take her on with your foot speed and try to blow past her. So for all the length that Carly Ernst has to her benefit, they're taking on her foot speed out of the perimeter.
Our call against United. So 6 minutes to go. Do either side need to do anything differently, or do you think they just need to continue their way? It's been neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, look, the layman answer is to say literally just keep doing what you're doing, but in the sense of the Flyers, every time they've been able to execute well, they've created a good shot, and anytime there's been a rush of blood and perhaps an earlier shot than what everybody else is prepared for, it hasn't turned up a great result for them. So it's going to come down to the Flyers' composure. For Geelong, I mean, they're in a winning position because of their persistence and their ferocity, and I think that's just got to stay cranked to an 11 out of 10.
Here's Jones on Kunek. Get to go. Cole trying to keep it alive. Jones. A massive 5 minutes and 21 seconds coming up. Geelong looking for their first ever win in the competition, and the defending champs looking for their first win this season. Plenty on the line. Who's going to stand up in these crucial moments? Here's Beck Cole working on Ellsworthy. Can't get it to go. Comes up the way of United. Ellsworthy takes it down the other end. Let's get past Hillman, gives it off to Froling, works the baseline. Lovely.
Now, if you're Coach Chrissy Harrawell and this next possession turns up empty for you, you'd probably be looking at a timeout. You want to rally the troops and try to get everything aligned and back on your terms, because right now the game's being played at Geelong's rhythm.
They've answered every challenge so far tonight, Geelong United.
What's another one?
Can they hang on here? Kunek missing. That's a let off. 3 points the margin. Geelong with possession. Froling out to Ellsworthy into the corner for Potter. Pulls the trigger. That was huge. And as you mentioned, Mark, we're off to a timeout. 6 points the lead now the way of Geelong, thanks to this massive triple.
And we praised their floor spacing in quarter number one, but where they've been able to adhere to it in that last possession, it turns up a post catch that gets kicked out to the perimeter and an extra pass to the corner, and you've got Flyers players chasing like crazy, but the open shot goes to the corner shooter and knocks it down.
And we mentioned some great storylines in WNBL and in Geelong. Gemma Potter's one of them. She's come across from Canberra. She's had such a rough run with injuries, a couple of ACLs, and we sort of touched on it earlier in the call. It's a really big opportunity for her, a new start, a fresh start, to make an impact. And my gosh, she certainly did that.
Yeah, she really hasn't. She started the game on fire early. She hit a patch through the middle where the ball wasn't dropping for her, but to her credit, the right shot has still been the one to take, and she's continued to back herself in, and then now that turns into a really big basket at an opportune time. She's got herself up to the 12 points and the 5 rebounds, so she's playing a really important hand in this Geelong lineup to give themselves a 6-point advantage.
So this demonstrates just how close this contest is. Both teams shooting 50% from the floor. So it's Geelong by 6 points at quarter time. That's as big as the margin has been throughout the night. It's currently 6 points at the moment. They led by 3 at half time. Just the 1 point at three-quarter time. The Flyers have had their moments where they've been in front in this contest, but Geelong just keep answering. But we know the Southside side is going to fight to the death. We know they can score quickly as well, particularly with Kunek when she has ball in hand.
Cold-blooded. Massive, massive 3-ball there for the Flyers.
Demonstrates the scoring power they have. Ellsworthy for Froling. Inside for Jones. Under pressure. Tough shot. Just can't find the finish. Comes away of Kunek. 3.5 to play. Geelong by 3. Southside are chasing. Hillman. Off to Luffridge. With some space. Can't get it to go. Big rebound from Hillman. She gets fouled.
And remember what I mentioned earlier about these taller players, or those that are adept to playing closer to the basket and being in rebounding contests. They don't get any shorter, or they don't lose those instincts that are conditioned into them late in the game. That's a massive offensive rebound, a big possession for the Flyers. Hillman goes to the line. If she knocks down 2, we've got ourselves a one possession ball game.
She's been huge tonight, 25 points, 8 rebounds. And these perhaps the most valuable shots of the night. She gets the first. Takes a big breath to draw scores level. She nails it. Maddie Roche back onto the floor for the Flyers. to Froling. Shelley from outside the arc. Whose ball is it going to be? It's going to be a Southside ball. Froling can't believe it.
But watch the persistence of all of these athletes to go and try to keep the basketball alive, tip it to their advantage, try to run through it. We've got a great one on our hands here.
Just 1 point the difference. Kunek to Rochi. What can she manufacture? Gives it back to Kunek in the corner. Pulls the trigger. It's offline. Jones to Froling. Has Hillman for company. Gives it to Shelley. Looking inside. Beautiful pass, but not the finish. Comes away of Southside. Burrows to Cole, the superstar. Oh, it's broken up. Fantastic work from Potter. 1 minute to go. Shelley to Jones. Brett back to Shelley. Shot clock down to 10. Gives it to Froling. He says, can you manufacture something? It spills away of Brett into the corner. She can't get it to go. It's a Southside ball. They've had their opportunities, Geelong, in this last quarter. Is Southside going to make them pay? They need someone to stand up in these final few seconds. Shot clock down to 5. Will it be Hillman? No, it's going to be Burrows.
Oh my goodness.
And they've hit the lead with 23 seconds on the clock.
And credit to Taya Burrows staying a threat here. Out of all of the athletes on the floor, she would get the least amount of focus from the Geelong defense. Sneaks along the baseline, gets herself a big basket, a massive, massive one that puts the Flyers in the box seat.
She looked as cool as a cucumber.
Right, after she mishandled the previous possession as well. So to have the courage to just go back and play present with a clean slate of mind, huge, huge basket for the Flyers.
23-year-old originally from WA. She's overcome her own injury troubles as well to make it back to the top level. That was a massive moment.
Now, whatever you do here as Geelong, you want to keep this as best as possible to one possession. To do that, you get a choice whether to advance the ball into your half of the floor or keep it down the other end. Keep it at the other end because you get the benefit of a full 24-second shot clock, and make sure that you get the last shot trying to win the ball game. Try to go up or make your attack with about 8 seconds to go, so it leaves you time to wrestle down a rebound or try to tip the ball in. But it looks like they're not going to do that. They're going to advance it, so there'll be 14 seconds on the shot clock, which means the Flyers, even if Geelong gets a basket, will get the basketball back for one last crack at it.
So here we go. What a finish we've got. Jones. And they've got that valuable basket through Brett. We've gone ahead to another timeout. We've had countless twists and turns all night. Is there one more to come?
Incredibly poised here too. To catch, drop it off over the top, and then you get the left-handed finish there from Alyssa Brett. So now the shoe's on the other foot. You have the exact same proposition, but you have the benefit, I think, of being able to advance the ball with 14 seconds to 16, with that being the differential. It's not that far gone that you'd be able to execute a play, get a shot up with time expiring, and try to win yourself the ball game if you're the Flyers.
Alyssa Brett, no stranger to memorable matches in her career. She played against Caitlin Clark in front of 18,000 people over in the US when she broke the record for most points in the NCAA, so she was on the opposition that day. So for the Flyers, who do you want the ball in the hands of?
Well, you probably want to move everybody around. You don't want to let this Geelong team be able to get their defense set and in helping positions from all of the players that are guarding someone without the ball. If it was me, I'd try to get the ball into Beck Cole's hands with some type of dribble penetration towards the basket. Again, with that 6 to 8 seconds left on the clock, so you've got an opportunity to rebound and drop it in.
Burrows to inbound. They give it to Cole, who feeds it to Hillman, who's been sensational tonight, but she can't get a shot up, and Geelong come up with it. And they get fouled as well. What drama at Geelong Arena.
So that last play that the Southside Flyers drew up is an old Bernie Harrower special from the Bendigo Spirit days when Christie would have been a player. They would run that play for Gabe Richards to get a catch. Gabe Richards would be in the Nars Hillman role, and they would lob her the ball and she'd get a little layup.
Incredible defense from Geelong United, which has been a cornerstone of their performance all night tonight.
That last play giving you a picture of the influence that Bernie Harrower, the aforementioned, sitting next to Christy Harrower there on the Flyers bench. That's the influence. 6 seconds is plenty of time. If Jones can knock these two down, it'll push the margin to as far as it can possibly be, but the Flyers have a chance to tie if they can get a rebound. That's a key miss.
She leaves the door open. Southside know it.
They've got to be quick though.
Jones gets a second attempt. We're going to head to a timeout with Geelong in front by 2 points. 6 seconds remaining. You could have asked for a better contest tonight.
We have an early match of the year candidate right here. The choices that you have to make now if you're Coach Christy Harrower. 2 points is the margin, 6 seconds left. You finish the ball game on this next possession. The decision that you make. Do you feel like you have the firepower and the momentum and perhaps the gas left in the tank to go for a quick 2 on the buzzer, tie the ball game up and then play another 5 minutes of extra time? Or do you go for broke and go for the win, aim for a 3-point shot and try to get yourself the win, knowing that the shot type that you take is likely to be highly contested and obviously at a lower percentage?
You've got the coaching experience of the two of us in the commentary box tonight. Mark, what would you do?
Look, I think Geelong with a smaller lineup is going to switch everything defensively, meaning whatever 2 players come to the ball, they're going to swap who they're guarding and make anything highly contested. I'd probably go for the quick 2 and then know that I've got the better and more potent players, more experienced players with championship experience for another 5-minute stint. I'd rather win 5 minutes than try to win 6 seconds.
So it's going to be Chris Lucas to win his first ever match as coach of United, or his former assistant Christy Harrow with her first win for the Flyers.
Bragging rights up for grabs.
All fronts. How good is this? Flyers. And they've turned it over. That's going to be the game. Geelong with a slice of history on home turf at Geelong Arena. They win their first ever match in dramatic circumstances in the WNBL competition. What an incredible match, an incredible performance from Geelong United. And one contest that we are going to remember for a long, long time.
Incredibly gutsy performance by Geelong to play without their 2 tallest players, knowing that you're up against this Flyers lineup that's got the likes of Nars Hillman, who tonight did a tremendous amount of damage. She had the 27 points and 10 rebounds of her own, but they've got size for the position of Kunek. They've got Ernst that they can roll out there as well.
There's a foul called on those last frenetic moments, so Brett finds herself at the line. Brett two. And that is the ball game. History in the making for Geelong United. What a contest we've seen tonight. Geelong United, this new franchise in the WNBL, against the Southside Flyers, the defending champions, start their season 0-2. 3 points was the margin in the end. Mark Alabakov, what a ball game.
It was incredible, and I mentioned earlier that it's an early match of the year candidate because of the twists and turns, the leads that one of the teams took, and then the opponent wrestling it back with pure force or beautiful execution. But credit to this Geelong outfit. I mean, as I was mentioning before, having an undersized lineup, they had to win it based upon just playing every possession with a play-to-win mentality, attacking the game defensively, looking to try to aggressively get to the basket when they're on the offensive end. They had 5 double-digit scorers. They outworked this taller, more experienced Flyers lineup for 11 second chance points, 11 offensive rebounds, and 44 points in the paint. Those last 3 categories I mentioned being more than the output of the Flyers, where that was really something that they could have leveraged in their own favour. So credit to Coach Chris Lucas, this group of Geelong United athletes. A great first win for their franchise and one of many to come.
And we mentioned it throughout the call, but too, as we take a look at some of the match highlights, but it's one thing for a new side to come together and get all the pieces of the puzzle right, get your combinations right. To do it for 4 quarters against a quality outfit in Southside, I think takes it to the next level. It was an outstanding performance.
Right, and it's not enough to say it's a morale-boosting win. I mean, it is going to be that, absolutely, but it's a tangible success that they can build from. This is a game where, you know, they've got the odds stacked against them, not only on pure talent alone, but losing 2 of your key pieces within your lineup, and then to be able to pull out a victory like this, you know, albeit on your home floor, it's something that's a really important building block for their season ahead.
So these are the stats to full time. Naz Hillman's outstanding for the Flyers with 27 points. Kunek as well in outstanding form to start her season with 25, and Cole ended on 20. She was so crucial to this Flyers side, as she has been for many, many years in her career as well. But it's hard to split the sides, really. I mean, it honestly could have gone either way. I mean, we've sung the praises of Geelong, but take nothing away from the Flyers. They still gave it everything.
Absolutely. And, you know, sometimes it can seem hollow to say there's a lot to take out of this ball game for both teams, but there really was a lot to take out of the ball game for both of them. You know, when you look at the output of scorers, the rebounding contributors for both teams, it's everything that you would want if you were the Geelong coach or the Flyers coach wanting your team to perform at their best. You know, and a key shout out being to Keely Froling, who came up big when her team needed it. She's had the 18 points, shot at 43% from the field, had the 14 rebounds, 4 of them offensive, so kept the basketball alive, led from the front, which we said from the outset of the broadcast, in really clutch moments and really teachable moments for this young franchise in leading the way with her example. And
we mentioned off the top, she was the first player that Chris Lucas contacted when he got the job. He said, I want Keely Froling on my side. She's 28 years of age. She's been in the WNBL for a very, very long time, but you kind of see in the first couple of rounds, like it's a fresh start for her as well. She looks rejuvenated. She looks like, you know, out there. She's doing the fist pumps, you know, when her teammates are scoring big baskets as well. It looks like she's kind of really taken this role on her shoulders and carrying herself really well to start the season.
Yeah, and look, there's 2 ways that can go when you've got any athlete that's had a stack of experience and championship experience like Keely Froling. When you put 5 teammates that have never played at this level together, 3 others that have come from other clubs, there's every reason why that can lead to sources of frustration for you, because things won't click the way that you want them to right from the outset. But it shows you the maturity that she has, the leadership qualities, to catch her teammates doing things right, to keep steering them in a direction, and then leading from the front as well. And there's a lot to think of. There's a lot to be doing, you know, tangibly in terms of your contribution on the floor, but also, you know, on the outskirts and off the floor as well. You know, I just think that she's doing a tremendous job for them early stages.
So a historic night at Geelong Arena. It is Geelong United winning their first ever match in the WNBL in stunning circumstances. They take down the defending champs by 3 points. On behalf of myself, Jess Webster, and Mark Alabakov, and our entire production team, we hope you have enjoyed the coverage. And stick around, plenty more basketball to come across the weekend. Make sure you head to WNBL.basketbol to keep up with all the news and all the matches as well. But tonight, as we sign off, it is Geelong by 3 points. Good night.